Hey guys, welcome back to video number two in this series. Um, in this video, we're going to get our environment set up. And in the last video, I mentioned that we're going to choose one of the two different UI libraries I mentioned, which is Bootstrap or Material UI. After doing some research, even though I'm more familiar with Bootstrap, I have decided to give Material UI a try, right? This is the first time I use Material UI. It looks more mature. I've usually, like I said, used Bootstrap and Design. Um, so now this will be the new kind of experience there. So I'm going to try to use Material UI to build our website. And some of the reasons for that is I like their showcase. It seems like they have a few more third-party APIs, premium themes apparently. So there's like seems to be like some community there for this. They also have third-party integrations and like discover more, like show related projects. So yeah, there's like a few examples we could take a look at. Um, there's a lot of these different kind of libraries, dialogue, calendar, blocks, theming, and then there's snippets. Apparently there's an extension for IDs. It's kind of cool. But yeah, and then there's just some stuff. And then what else? I noticed that they have a lot of examples and third-party examples too, so this is why we're using them. But yeah, so let's get started. So first things first is let's go to our terminal. I created a directory called ecom store, and I recommend you create a directory the same, whatever the name you want to be. So in this directory, we're going to create two files. One is going to be backend, and this is going to be the place where we stick all our Hasura code, any custom services we might write, like maybe a custom Express server, anything like that. We'll stick it in the backend code. And for ecom store, we're going to make another directory called frontend. Oh, spelling's terrible today, but yeah. So now that we've made two of those projects, let's get our Hasura project set up. So let's go into backend and let's get to Hasura getting started guide. So I will link this in the video below. But yeah, you want to navigate to Hasura getting started, and you want to get started. This is not what we want. We actually want to get the Docker start. And this is the Docker compose file that you can curl. So if you're on Mac, you usually got curl installed, and if you're on Linux, you might need to install curl. But yeah, you need to curl this Docker compose. If you're on Windows, I have no idea what you do there. Sorry about that. I haven't used Windows in a very long time other than my gaming PC, which I haven't really gamed in a while. So, but yeah, so we're in the backend and we're going to curl this file. So what we're going to proceed to do is you're going to find your IDE. If you're using VS Code, please use VS Code. I pay for IntelliJ, so I'm going to use my IntelliJ IDE, get my money's worth out of it. Um, but yeah, so I'm going to go into Ecom Store and I'm going to open this. So we're building this kind of like a monorepo approach a little bit, not a lot. But yeah, if you're not familiar with Docker Compose, this is Docker Compose. In this Docker Compose, we've defined a couple of services. Well, this is not me, but the default Hasura Docker Compose. And the first service will have Postgres. It uses a Postgres 12 image, as you can see. It's always told to restart. It has specific volumes. As you can see, you create a volume here. For the sake of our course, we're going to create our own named volume, which we're going to call ecom db data. In my case, I have a lot of conflicts because I have other places where I'm running the same compose file. And so to prevent pollution of the volumes, I'm going to go ahead and rename it to ecom db data. And yeah, this is the volume name. Then as you can see here, you can define the database URL in the environment. You can get the console enabled for Hasura. There's a few commands that you can pass in. And you can also add in a secret key for your Hasura instance. Since a lot of our development is going to be local and we don't really need authentication for right now. We'll proceed to add this, activate the secret later. But this should be enough to get us started. And as you can see, the default password is Postgres password, very secure, right? It's my. I think it would be funny if this was like, what if someone was like, this is a secure password. I've seen this actually once. A password as a password that someone was using. It's kind of funny. But yeah, this is our default. Definitely, if we go to production, please don't use this password. You will get hacked like within a day. But yeah, and especially if your database is open to the world. But since this database is not open to the world and is only running internally, and is only available to this GraphQL engine from a networking perspective because it depends on it, I think we should be good. So yeah, assuming you have your Docker environment set up, if not, please pause this video and navigate to Docker desktop for Mac. This is what you need to navigate to. Um, yeah, I'll post maybe a link below. I don't know. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But yeah, definitely get your Docker set up. But yeah, so now going back, what we'll do is we'll do a CD backend, and then what we'll do is Docker compose up, and then we're going to compose up our database. So yeah, as you can see, it's composing, it's building. Um, Now that it's built, we will check the portal for this device to see whether it has built or not. So by default, Hasura goes on to localhost 8080, and it seems this is accessing the last database from the last video. Yeah, but I don't use this laptop in between videos. It's only for videos, since I have another work laptop for work. So what I will proceed to do over here is change this to do wrong location. What we'll do is we'll expose it to port 8090. And so yeah, we'll take it down. One. Okay, so yeah, now that created a fresh new instance. We'll go in, we'll hit localhost 8080, 8090. In your case, 8080 should be fine. In my case, I'm just to prevent collisions, I'm just gonna do that. So as you can see, this is a whole new, brand new instance of Hasura. It is completely blank. Um, so yeah, it's completely blank, and you should be able to get started on this instance. Now, for the next thing we're going to set up as part of our environment, we are going to set up the React project. So what we'll do is we'll look for React TypeScript, and this is not what I wanted to do. This is what I wanted to do. All right, so I'll post another link to this video below. And before we do that, so let's go to the front end. And what we'll do is we'll spin up a new app and we'll call it Ecom Store. Or naming restrictions, you can no longer use capital letters. Well, darn. So we'll call it ecom-store. So yeah, we're creating this new React app. And it'll create. Yeah, while this gets started, let's go find some extra dependencies we need to install. One thing that we should add is Prettier to our project. If you haven't used Prettier before, I highly recommend you use it. It is one of my most favorite things in the world. It's an opinionated code formatter. So yeah, set this up. Yarn add prettier. I think it. No, wrong place. Wrong place. Okay, so now yeah, let's go into ecom store and do a yarn add on prettier. And the reason we want prettier is we want our code pretty, right? And this will help us do that. And we'll do a eco prettier RC. And I believe we have TSLint also installed. Do we not? Nope, we do not. So we should probably get TSLint installed. By the way, this brings me to another issue. I really don't like setting up React projects this way. I usually use NX mono repos. Maybe I can do that for another project at some point. But NX makes life so easy. Highly recommend check it out if you're interested in mono repos and setting up projects really quickly. But yeah, this sounds like a lot of pain to get started, but it should be good enough. Um, and then the next thing we're going to need is Apollo client. So GraphQL Apollo. This is the client side kind of library we need to install to be able to use kind of GraphQL on the client side. So yeah, GraphQL Apollo React. Well, this is our getting started guide, and what we'll do is we'll proceed to install Apollo client and GraphQL. So we'll do yarn add go to, so now that we've installed the Apollo client, there's one more thing we need to install, which is GraphQL Codegen. This adds, so it's used to this being the first thing. But yeah, we'll be using GraphQL code generator. And yeah, let's get started. All right, come on, internet. Any day now. Okay, there we go. Installation. So the first thing is we already have GraphQL. We just installed that, as you guys saw. Next thing we'll do is we'll add the Codegen CLI to the dev dependencies. And then what we'll do is we'll initialize the project and then proceed to install the Yarn Codegen TypeScript. This is something I forgot to do in my last video, so yeah, I won't forget to do it this time. Yeah, and if you've been watching in my last video, this library will help us generate our types and just make our development a lot easier since we're using TypeScript for our front-end development. Yeah, guys, so this is, let's do a yarn GraphQL code init to initialize our project. And so this is an application built with React local. So we'll do HTTP localhost 8090. We'll do v1. We'll do GraphQL. So this is our schema location. In your case, it'll be port 8080. And then this will be the operation. And I believe we also want to get this. All right, so I think we're all good, and we picked all the plugins, and we will write it in the generated location. We do not want introspection files since these files are kind of useless. How to name the config file? I think codegen.yaml is a good choice. And then what script should run the codegen? So I just like to do, we can just do like code dash gen for this. Yeah, so now whenever we want to run the command, we just do yarn run codegen. In our case, it should fail because there's not really much to inspect. Yep. We don't currently have any GraphQL files in our directory. But yeah, so this project so far, so far, this is a good stopping point for us for this video since we've already hit 15 minutes and I don't want to keep you guys here for ever for this video. So yeah, 15 minutes, and on the next video, what we'll do is we'll proceed to run our front end and build some of our backend endpoints, right? But what we'll do first is also figure out our products in the next video, set up our products in our backend, and just get all of that wired up. Right, awesome, guys. See you guys in the next video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Give me a thumbs up if you could, and comment below what you think so far. Anything I can improve from a recording perspective. Is this audio good? In my last video, I don't think I was using headphones. I've decided to use headphones this time, and I feel like the audio quality is a little better because I can't pick up the air vents. Let me know your feedback below. Thanks, guys, and thanks for sticking this far.